this hour, President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu officially welcomes Anura Kumara Dissanayake, President of Sri Lanka, during his state official visit to the Maldives. Hassan Sobir, a senior Maldivian statesman whose career helped shape the country's tourism, fisheries, agriculture and foreign affairs, dies. Speaker of Parliament Abdul Rahim Abdullah departs to Geneva, Switzerland, to attend the 6th World Conference for Speakers of Parliament. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Minha Maroof. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu officially welcomes Anura Kumara Dissanayake, President of Sri Lanka, during his state official visit to the Maldives. President Dissanayake and his delegation had arrived early Monday morning and was received by President Dr. Muizzu at Valana International Airport, along with some members of his ministerial cabinet. The official welcoming ceremony took place at the Republic Square area in Male City. On arrival at the Izzuddin Jetty, President Dissanayake was greeted by President Muizzu, where they observed a cultural item by Maldivian school students. President Muizzu then accompanied the visiting Sri Lankan counterpart to the saluting dais, and a 21-gun salute was offered, followed by which the national anthems of Maldives and Sri Lanka were played. President Dissanayake then proceeded to inspect a guard of honor by Maldives National Defence Force (MNDF). The presentation of the host and visiting dignitaries followed. During the visit, President Dissanayake is scheduled to hold official talks with President Dr. Muizzu later, focusing on further strengthening bilateral relations between the two neighboring nations. The two leaders are also scheduled to deliver joint press statements outlining the outcomes of their discussions. This is President Disanayake's first state visit to the Maldives since assuming office in September 2024. The Maldives and Sri Lanka established diplomatic relations on 26 July 1965, and this year is the 60th anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Hassan Sobir, a senior Maldivian statesman whose career in public service spanned nearly 4 decades and helped shape the country's tourism, fisheries, agriculture and foreign affairs, dies July 28 morning at Treetop Hospital in Hurumale. Sobir, a recent recipient of the Order of the Distinguished Rule of Izzuddin, the Maldives' highest civilian honor, was serving as the Maldives' ambassador to Japan at the time of his death. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu called Sobir's passing a profound loss to the nation. In a statement posted on social media, he praised Sobir's enduring contributions to national development and credited him with strengthening the country's diplomatic and economic foundations. Among his achievements, the president noted Sobir's leadership across key sectors and his role in advancing major initiatives that contributed to the Maldives' progress. Sobir entered public service on 7 February 1973 and remained in government for more than 38 years, holding a range of ministerial posts. His longest tenure was in the tourism sector, where he was recognized for delivering what officials described as constructive services that supported the industry's expansion. His influence extended to fisheries and agriculture, where he oversaw the establishment of a 1,500-ton fish freezing facility in Koddu, oversaw the nationwide 1 million trees program, and initiated the leasing of uninhabited islands for agricultural development. His diplomatic career included service as an ambassador to several countries, where he worked to strengthen the Maldives' foreign relations and broaden its international engagement. On July 27th, Sobir was awarded the Order of the Distinguished Rule of Izzuddin, ODRI, the highest honor conferred by the Maldivian state. The award was announced during the official Independence Day reception, though Sobir was unable to attend the ceremony due to medical treatment. Following his death, the national flag will be flown at half-mast from 29th July for up to 3 days. President Moizu offered prayers for Sobir's peace and extended condolences to his family. Speaker of Parliament Abdul Rahim Abdullah departs to Geneva, Switzerland to attend the 6th World Conference for Speakers of Parliament. Organized by the Inter-Parliamentary Union (IPU) in close collaboration with the United Nations, will take place from 29th to 31st July at the United Nations office at Geneva. The conference, first established in 2000 on the eve of the United Nations Millennium Summit, aims to provide a unique forum for high-level engagement and dialogue among parliamentary leaders from around the world. Previous conferences, held every 5 years since then, have served as catalysts for shaping and strengthening the parliamentary dimension of global governance, thereby helping to bridge the democracy gap in international affairs. During the conference, the world's top legislators are expected to engage with leaders from international organizations, academia, civil society, and the media. The government extends its national high-speed ferry network to Ba Atoll, making a significant advancement in President Dr. Mohamed Moizu's infrastructure program and fulfilling a key commitment to strengthening inter-island connectivity. The Raja Transport Link RTL service, now operational in its 11th atoll, is expected to provide affordable and reliable transportation for more than 12,000 residents across 13 inhabited islands. This latest expansion is part of a broader initiative aimed at unifying the country's geographically dispersed communities through a modern maritime transport system. President Moizu had pledged to initiate service in Ba Atoll by the end of July, a deadline now met with the commencement of operations. To prepare for the launch, the Maldives Transport and Contracting Company (MTCC), which is overseeing the RTL project under government directive, carried out a series of operational measures. These included recruiting and training personnel to ensure the service could begin without delay. The network in Ba Atoll will operate along 2 designated routes, supported by a fleet of 2 high-speed ferries assigned specifically to the region. The routes have been designed to prioritize access to the atoll's capital, improving links to airport services and other essential public amenities. During its first week, the RTL service will run familiarization trips free of charge. Each journey will include a structured seating allocation for the islands served, allowing residents to experience the system before regular fares are introduced. Fare collection is scheduled to begin on 4th August, with route and pricing details available through the official RTL mobile application and website. The national rollout of the RTL network is being carried out in phases, with the country divided into 6 geographic zones to support systematic implementation. The most recent expansion prior to Ba Atoll took place in Ra Atoll, where services began on 26 July. President Moizu had previously announced that operations in Ra would commence by the end of June, followed by Ba in July, both targets now achieved. Looking ahead, the President has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to extending the RTL service to all remaining atolls before the end of the calendar year. He noted that all requisite work is actively underway, underscoring the government's emphasis on equitable infrastructure development and national integration. Samsung Electronics says it has signed a $16.5 billion deal to supply chips for an unidentified major global company, sending its shares up 3.5%.
The South Korean tech giant said the deal signed on 26 July was for contract chip manufacturing, and details of the agreement, including the counterpart and terms, would not be disclosed until the contract is completed at the end of 2033. The deals comes as Samsung is struggling to compete in the race to make artificial intelligence chips, which has hit its profit and share price. Samsung has customers like Tesla and Qualcomm for its foundry business, while bigger rival TSMC has customers like Apple and Nvidia. The deal comes as South Korea is seeking US partnerships in chips and shipbuilding as it is making last-ditch efforts to reach a trade deal to eliminate or cut potential 25% US tariffs. It is not clear how the order would affect Samsung's plan to start production at its new factory in Texas, which has been delayed as it had struggled to win major customers.
The United States strikes a framework trade deal with Europe. US President Donald Trump announces, averting a significant row between two allies who account for almost a third of global trade.
The deal that includes a 15% tariff on EU goods entering the US and significant EU purchases of US energy and military equipment will bring welcome clarity for EU companies. However, the baseline tariff of 15% will be seen by many in Europe as a poor outcome compared to the initial European ambition of a 0-for-0 tariff deal, although it is better than the threatened 30% rate. The announcement comes after European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen travelled to Scotland for talks with US President Donald Trump to push a hard-fought deal over the line. Trump, who is seeking to reorder the global economy and reduce decades-old US trade deficits, had so far reeled in agreements with Britain, Japan, Indonesia, and Vietnam, although his administration has failed to deliver on a promise of 90 deals in 90 days.
Thank you very much. So we have good news. We've reached a deal. It's a good deal for everybody, I believe. And I think you were saying this is probably the biggest deal ever reached in any capacity, trade or beyond trade.
It is.
It's a giant deal with lots of countries. So we're going to do the following. The European Union is going to agree to purchase from the United States $750 billion worth of energy. $750 billion worth of energy. They are going to agree to invest into the United States $600 billion more than they're investing already. So they're investing a large amount of money. You know what that amount of money is. It's very substantial, but they're going to invest an additional $600 billion. They're agreeing to open up their countries to trade at zero tariff. So that's a very big factor. Opening up their countries, all of the countries will be opened up to trade with the United States at zero tariff. And they're agreeing to purchase a vast amount of military equipment. We don't know what that number is, but I'm going to let you say, but I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Trump has periodically railed against the European Union, saying it was formed to screw the United States on trade. His main complaint in the US merchandise trade deficit with the EU, which in 2024 reached $235 billion, according to US Census Bureau data. The EU points to the US surplus in services, which it says partially redresses the balance.
Dozens of trucks carrying aid bound for Gaza moves from Egypt for a second consecutive day after Israel eased the blockade on the Palestinian enclave. Israel on July 27th announced a halt in military operations for 10 hours a day in parts of Gaza and new aid corridors as Jordan and the United Arab Emirates airdrop supplies into the enclave, where images of starving Palestinians have alarmed the world. Military activity will stop daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. until further notice in Al-Mawasi, a designated humanitarian area along the coast, in central Deir al-Balah and in Gaza City to the north. Israel said designated secure routes for convoys delivering food and medicine will also be in place between 6 a.m. and 11 p.m., starting from July 27th. The Egyptian Red Crescent said on Monday it was sending 135 trucks carrying around 1,500 tons of aid to Gaza, including various food and personnel care supplies. Trucks marked with signs of Emirates Red Crescent, Qatar Charity and other international organizations were also seen making their way from Egypt towards Gaza. Israel has been facing growing international criticism, which the government rejects, over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and indirect ceasefire talks in Doha between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas have broken off with no deal in sight. Israel cut off aid to Gaza from the start of March, claiming to pressure Hamas into giving up dozens of hostages it still holds, and reopened aid distribution with new restrictions in May. Israel claims to have been allowing in aid but must prevent it from being diverted by militants and blames Hamas for the suffering of Gaza's people. Israel began the genocide in Gaza on October 7, 2023, when Hamas-led fighters stormed southern Israel, killing 1,200 people and taking 251 hostages back to Gaza, according to Israeli tallies. Since then, Israel's genocide has killed nearly 60,000 people in Gaza, mostly civilians, and reduced much of the enclave to ruins and displaced nearly the entire population. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai says the UN nuclear watchdog will make a visit to Iran within the next 2 weeks, a few days after the watchdog's director said Tehran was ready to restart technical conversations. Baghai added that a manual regarding the future of Iran's cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency will be presented based on a recent parliamentary bill restricting such cooperation. The bill, which has now become law, stipulates that any future inspection of Iran's nuclear sites by the IAEA needs approval by Tehran's Supreme National Security Council. The IAEA has said it must be allowed to resume inspections after Israeli and US airstrikes last month that aimed to destroy Iran's nuclear program and denied the capacity to build a nuclear weapon. Iran has always denied seeking nuclear weapons and says its program is strictly peaceful. The UN nuclear watchdog is particularly concerned about the whereabouts of Iran's stocks of some 400 kg of highly enriched uranium. The leaders of Cambodia and Thailand says that they have agreed to a ceasefire effective midnight, in a bid to bring an end to their deadliest conflict in more than a decade after 5 days of fierce fighting. They made the announcement during a news conference in Putrajaya, Malaysia. Amid an international effort to quell the conflict, the Thai and Cambodian leaders held talks in Malaysia hosted by its Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, the current chair of the Asian Regional Bloc, where both sides agreed to halt hostilities and resume direct communications. Anwar said when opening a press conference alongside the Thai and Cambodian leaders that there would be adding that it is a vital step towards de-escalation and the restoration of peace and security. Anwar had proposed ceasefire talks soon after a long-running border dispute erupted into conflict on July 24th, and China and the United States also offered to assist in negotiations.
Prime Minister Hun Manet and Acting Prime Minister Phumtham Vichayachai have expressed their positions and willingness to immediate ceasefire and return to normalcy. The United States President Donald J. Trump has been in contact with the leaders of both countries, urging the leaders to find peaceful resolution to the conflict. The Chinese side have kept close contact with Cambodia, Thailand, and Malaysia and relevant countries to actively promote dialogue, ceasefire, and restoring peace. The presence and collaboration of all parties underscore a shared commitment to peace, dialogue, and regional stability.
U.S. President Donald Trump called both leaders at the weekend, urging them to settle their differences, warning he would not conclude trade deals with them unless they ended the fighting. England fans, chants and dances in front of St. Jacob's Stadium in Basel after the Lionesses beat Spain in a penalty shootout to win the UEFA Women's Euro 2025, successfully defending the title they won 3 years ago.
Chloe Kelly had fired the decisive spot kick as England beat Spain 3-1 after an enthralling encounter that ended 1-1 after extra time. Spain dominated possessions and made the breakthrough in the 25th minute as Honor Battle crossed and the England defence was caught flat-footed, allowing Mariana Caldente to head the ball past Hannah Hampton. However, England levelled in the 57th minute with Elisa Russo heading home from a Kelly cross. Spain continued to monopolise the ball but could not find another goal before the end of normal time, and the story continued through extra time as they probed and probed but could not break through the English defence as the game finished 1-1. The Spaniards got the shootout off to a great start with Carter Cole saved Beth Mead's effort, but England keeper Hannah Hampton stepped up and saved from Caldente and then from Aitana Bonmati to put England in the driving seat. Cole got Spain back into it with another one-handed stop to block Leah Williamson, but Spain substitute Salma Paraluelo then fired her kick wide of the target. That set the stage for Kelly to repeat her 2022 heroics when she scored the extra time winner over Germany that won them the title at Wembley. Kelly made her trademark prancing run-up before smashing the ball into the net and peeling away in ecstasy to celebrate with the rest of the players in front of the England fans. The final was the first time since the inaugural edition in 1984 in which England were beaten by Sweden that the game was decided by a penalty shootout.
A colossal $80 popcorn container shaped like Marvel's planet-devouring villain, Galactus, offers a unique twist on movie snacks.
During its unveiling in Los Angeles, the container drew excited fans to the TCL Chinese Theatre and set a Guinness World Record. The Mammoth movie snack holder, tied to the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps film, measures 20 inches wide and 17.5 inches tall. It boasts a capacity of 341 ounces, enough to satisfy even Galactus' cosmic appetite. Lacey Noel, a tour guide at the TCL Chinese Theatre, presented the bucket to eager onlookers.
Here at this wonderful theater, you can actually buy the biggest popcorn bucket ever in the world. That is the Galactus popcorn bucket from Fantastic Four First Steps. This is $80. It's massive at 20 inches wide and 17.5 inches tall. Carries 341 ounces of popcorn. Now, it has a beautiful detail with metallic finish and piercing bright blue LED eyes. And you can purchase it here right at the TCL Chinese Theater.
This record-breaking popcorn bucket represents more than just a novel way to serve cinema snacks. It's part of a broader strategy by movie studios and theaters to lure audiences back to the big screen with exclusive, tangible experiences that can't be replicated at home.
And that's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a pleasant day ahead.